Errol the Truth Spence Jr.'s own trainer says his fighter Errol does not need a tune-up. He's ready to go. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Patreon link in the description. It's a great way to support the channel, and I got some fun stuff coming, and I'm doing sessions with Patreon and YouTube channel members. If you want an idea of how that looks like, you can check the videos on the page. Another great way is to hit the channel membership button. Just hit the join button underneath this video by the subscribe button, and that's a great way to be a part of the extended Eagles Army family. Now, link in the description. Derrick James, trainer, longtime trainer of Errol Spence, he did an interview and he said that Errol Spence is ready to go. He gives his thoughts on Errol Spence, and I'll give you the direct quote. Derrick James says that he's paying attention and keeping a watchful eye over Errol Spence for obvious reasons. He was in a horrific accident, in case you guys live under a rock and weren't familiar with that. Last year, I think it was in October, and he narrowly escaped with his life, but fortunate for him, he didn't sustain major injuries or broken bones, things of that sort. So Derrick James is watching his fighter as, you know, his comeback nears and draws near. Derrick James says, and I quote, "I'm grading Errol every day, looking at him, his reaction time, his technique, his skill set. We're gradually getting better. So I don't think we need that tune-up fight. Everybody's been off now. Nobody's been fighting. So he'll get a fight, and whoever it is, I don't think it matters. They're all great fighters." End quote. So I think Derrick James brought up a great point with the mere fact that everybody's off with this pandemic. Is global. Live sports have been temporarily halted and shut down. One thing that I will say that is, you know, it's concerning, but I don't want to, hopefully I'm not looking into the verbiage too much. I really want to see Errol Spence Jr. bounce back. There's a couple things that's concerning though. For one, Errol Spence Jr. did a recent interview where he had made a statement saying there was a point after the accident where he didn't think he would box again. So I don't know what, you know, was said to him, what the doctor said or whatever, but that's a scary notion. You know, we've seen it happen to guys like Paul Williams get in a tragic accident, and that just ends the career. You know, there's been other people. I think Dimitri Perot, he had some kind of injury that ended his career as well, and there's been other guys. So Errol saying that is a bit spooky, and you know, like I said, hopefully I'm not reading too far into this, but Derrick James, he says we're gradually getting better, so I don't think we need that tune-up fight. I don't think, you know, as opposed to, oh man, Errol's looking brilliant. Errol, you know what I'm saying, something a little bit more emphatic. However, Derrick James, he always got a poker face, so it's hard to really even look too much into what he has said, because he doesn't really have these super like peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? He's very centered. He's a very centered person, and no matter what, Errol Spence can just beat Sean Porter for the title, and he's almost like, you know, very mild. So I don't know, but I was kind of paying attention, as a lot of people. So I'm not gonna, like, we're gonna see whatever it is. We're gonna see how Errol Spence looks. They're talking about putting him in a big fight. I told you on my channel, it's very simple. For me, whatever Errol decides, that's what we're rocking with. He's the one that went through it. He's the one that, you know, had the accident. He knows how his body feels. I did a video about it. He looks to be in shape. He says he's vowed to make his weight cuts earlier, or make sure he abstains from gaining too much weight in his off season. And he looks to be in good shape. You know, he looks like he's not that, I mean, he's bigger than 147, but it didn't look anything crazy. So we'll see. It's 100% in his corner how he feels. And I think he's smart enough to be realistic with himself and make that assessment. So if he says he's ready to go, he's ready to go. But that being said, if he does decide to not take a tune-up and he does fight one of the rumored names like Pacquiao or Danny Garcia, I think those are tough fights, because I think they're tough fights for anybody, whether you've been in an accident or not. So we're going to see what it is and what it ain't. I can't wait for the return to Errol Spence. Like I said, it would be such a bad look if Errol Spence looked like a different fighter, because in his prime, or what we've seen beforehand, he's able to take a punch. He has heart. He's a dog. I don't think anyone's ever knocked him down. We haven't really seen him buckle too much, stuff like that. So I just hope he's in the same shape and in the whole, he doesn't have like PTSD or something, you know what I'm saying, where you go through something traumatic and you take a punch and it shakes you up and you forget, because anytime you get into any type of accident, like a wreckage and stuff like that, you could have possible brain trauma. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to look too far into it. Derrick James says he has a watchful eye. They know what they're seeing. He knows how he feels. So we got to run with that. Let me know in the comment section. There's a lot of people who they speculated, and I thought that was wrong, because Errol Spence was still in the hospital, and just because he hadn't showed his face, they were doing a lot of like premature speculation before any piece of news came out. They were saying this, that, and the third, and talking on his situation without any formal announcement or anything. So I told you I wasn't going to do that and do too much speculation. I'm going off of like actual things. Derrick James says, I don't think he needs a tune-up and he'll get better and better. So to me, that, I'm just going off of what he said as opposed to speculate. Again, it's really hard to gauge with Derrick James just because he has an immense poker face and he's not going to tell you too much. Like some coaches, they talk and talk and talk and they'll end up incriminating themselves. That's not really Derrick James. He doesn't really say more than needs to be said. But I'm very anxious to see how Errol Spence looks. I want to see how just everything, the ring walk, what type of shape he's in, and who knows, you might even be able to get a better Errol Spence if everything goes well for Errol Spence. You might get a better one, just because anytime you go through something serious and then you come out on the other side, I'm sure that's a wake-up call. That's what he keeps saying. It's a wake-up call. It's a reality check, and you got something to fight for. Your kids, your legacy, and you're getting a second chance at things. I remember, I think it's on the Eminem album Recovery, where he's like, really, I'm not even supposed to be here right now, because he had an overdose. He said he was at a bad point. He gained a lot of weight and he had an overdose on drugs. And he said, I'm not even supposed to be here. So this time I'm not going to blow it, And those types of scenarios that play out in life, I'm sure it wakes your game up and you're like, okay, life is precious. Life is fragile. Let's go. And Errol Spence, from what he has been saying, he seems like he's conscious of this, like the people he would be leaving behind if that night would have captured his life. And it sounds like he understands the error in his ways. So this is all good stuff. Danny Garcia, I think, is probably who Errol will fight. I don't know. I don't really know what Pacquiao's doing. He's kind of a wild card. But Danny Garcia, I think he's a tough out for anybody. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman himself said that Danny Garcia hit him the hardest, and Keith Thurman's been in there with the Porters. He's been in there with Pacquiao, Diego Chavez, some guys with some power. And he said Danny Garcia hit him in his arm, and he felt that, and it was just like a shoulder punch or punch in his arm. Danny Garcia is also good with timing, and Errol Spence, we know what he's good at. He can make a war. He showed the battle of attrition, and that he was a dog, and he could beat Sean Porter at his own game. So it's about to be lit. I cannot wait to see the return and the version of Errol Spence that shows up again. His corner saying we don't need no training, or we don't need no tune-up. So that's what we rocking with. It is 100% his body, his life, his career, and it's his decision. Let me know what you guys think. Use that ESPN Plus link. They got a ton of original content. If you want to help out the channel, that's another great way. ESPN Plus, they have archive fights, UFC, boxing, documentaries, docuseries. They just recently put up the Bruce Lee B. Walter. They have Lance Armstrong documentary, Dennis Rodman 30 for 30. A lot of content is constantly updated. They had the Rest in Peace Kobe Bryant, the Detail program, Daniel Cormier Detail, and some more things. So if you're interested in helping the channel, you can click that ESPN Plus link. Get ESPN Plus as a standalone app or bundle it. Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus, all 3 apps for one price, $12.99 a month. Let me know what you guys think of Errol Spence returning from the wreck. His trainer made it official. They don't need a tune-up, and it looks like it's going to be a big fight. So let's see it. Let's get it. Man down. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.